Hi everyone, and welcome back to LPB Racing. This is the LPB Compact Touring Cup that we did a good couple of years ago now, at least. Getting through these videos slowly as we now look. So it's going to be Laguna Seca for this race, as you can see there. WeatherTech race for Laguna Seca, big image at the top. And let's go through the grid. Then this was the second race. Obviously, I didn't have a lot of the videos of these, so I'm just showing you what I can, just making sure that's all off and good. And we go on to the thing, and let's walk through the grid. So TY there on pole position for this race too, and then we have Keith alongside him in the Polo. Then we have the Fiat 500 of Tempio, Tempio there in there, and then Josh there in the Peugeot number 95. He changed his name to Mr. President, so we'll see how he goes in this one. There's Bidster in the Polo. And then we have Domingo in the yellow Swift. I think that's Domingo, yeah. And then we have Neil Farmack in the Mazda. And then we have, I think that's, and then Callum at the back, who has joined us for this one in another Mazda Demio. So let's see how we go on in this one then. Let's press the button. Revs up on the line. And we're going to get ready to go here, and off we go. TY changed his name to Trevor. So Trevor in the lead then, in the Peugeot, as everyone seems to get a decent start. I think Tempio's gone backwards a little bit. Here come the Mazdas from the back. Neil Farmack on the inside. And Bidster gets a big shove to the inside there as we all sort of try and fold into turn one. And out of turn one we go, and out towards technically turn three, but turn three. Bidster and Tempio, a little bit of contact there as you go under the bridge, almost three wide further back. Neil Farmack hits the front, the diesel Mazda hits the front, the pulling power of the diesel helps him out. He's at the front of the grid. Bidster and Callum alongside each other now. Bidster on the inside, Callum on the outside in the Mazda, and Bidster holds on now, looks at a move on Tempio as well. But side by side up the hill, Keith challenging TY at the top as well. Trevor, as his name is, and Bidster, massive two wheels there from Bids, and he loses time. Callum goes through, and so does Mr. President, Josh. And we've got TY went wide there as well in the Peugeot from that previous corner. Side by side through the corkscrew then, the famous corkscrew. Downhill, Callum and Tempio alongside each other, but the Abarth 500 has to give best to the Mazda Demio of Callum. Bidster then in 7th place, not the best start for him in this race. As up the front, we've got Neil at the end of lap 1 into the last corner. He's leading the race from Keith in second. He's ahead of TY, and TY trying to fight back after running wide previously. Bidster's on the inside of Josh there, Mr. President, as he's got himself named. Up over the start-finish line onto lap 2 of 10 here at Laguna Seca. TY Trevor around the outside of Keith in the tartan coloured car, and he's on the inside, and he's not going to be able to get alongside him. TY gets the position, and Callum now right on the back of these. The Mazda showing it's quite the dominant car. TY goes wide again onto the gravel, and Keith looks left, looks right, looks for a way to go through, tries to get through on the inside. Side by side, not quite able to get through just yet. TY holds position as Mr. President goes mowing in the background, who starts trying to mow sand. And out of the corner we go. Oh, Keith running wide there with the gravel, the grass, the sand. So I will get it right. Sand. It's called sand. Sand is the name. Sand is what we're going to go with. It's. We've got three wide further back. We've got Bidster against Tempio. Keith's run wide as well, so obviously Keith's lost some time there. Bidster on the inside of the Abarth 500, dives through on the inside. Good move there from Bidster. We go down the hill. Oh, Tempio fighting back. No way through there yet. Keith running wide in the Polo again, but we're okay. We're surviving. Oh, Keith again on the ground. These guys just want to build sandcastles. They're just going off the track all the time there. Keith braking there to avoid the back of Domingo's car, and now Mr. President at the back of the field. So not good for the President. Trevor on the back, with TY on the back of Callum. So it's both Mazdas hitting the front now. Neil Farmack pulling away from the rest of the field now. Or penalty for someone. A Bidster's got a penalty, so probably cutting the track a bit too much, or the game just giving out one of its pointless penalties. ruining races. And go all bit wide for him as well. Keith and Mr. President finally keeping it out of the sand and keeping it on the grey stuff. The grey stuff is faster, boys, than the sand. I know you like playing in the sand, but it's not as quick. So Bids there. Oh, 2 wheels from Bids there as he hits the inside curb. So he's losing some time if he's not careful. So be careful with them curbs. We go into the next left-hander. He avoids that one. So misses that one, but up here he'll have to. So I think the penalty line's a bit. I'm not quite sure. I can't quite remember where the penalty line is on Laguna Seca. It's been a while. We go into the corkscrew then. Looking at Bids, there's Seek. Well, he's known as Seek 1. Seek. Tempio. Domingo in 6th, keeping it nice and consistent there in the Suzuki Swift. And then Keith still ahead of Mr. President at the back of the field. Oh yeah, it's on the start-finish line. I remember now the penalty line. So Bids still have to serve his penalty. Coming up and hit the brakes, half a second, which basically makes you lose about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Because by the time you've slowed down, you've got to speed back up again. So there you are, Bids trying to get the gap back up now as he's being caught now by Seek 1 in the Abarth, making it sing in 5th gear. I think it's only a 5-speed box as well, so that gear ratio is very, very, very short in that car. As we go into the right-hander, Bids is still ahead of Seek 1, a bit of understeer there from the Abarth as it turned in, looks like it's not quite settled. And again, there we go, Mr. President on the sand. Again, putting up those 007 smoke screens and a penalty for his trouble. So probably running wide. The game likes to give it you sometimes for running wide, or he might have got it at turn 1 if he'd cut the inside of it too much. Just have to find out with that one as we look further up. So Neil Farmack now is being caught by Callum. So the 2 Mazdas are rightly going to combat. So Neil's not quite got it his own way compared to the last of the races we've seen. There's TY in the Peugeot there in 3rd place, and then Bidster, Tempio, Domingo and everyone else still in the same order. Let's look at these 2 cars up front then, because Callum there is closing right up on Neil Farmack in the lead of the race, lap 4 of 10 here at Laguna Seca. It's all starting to just spread out a little bit, but that's not to say that it could close up. All it takes is one mistake from someone and we suddenly get a battle back. Across the line then, Neil Farmack a 134.6 his personal best, and a 133.4 for Callum, almost a whole, well, just over a whole second faster, 1.2 seconds faster that lap than Neil Farmack. So Callum definitely on the pace then here. So this is going to be a nice battle that hots up as the race goes on. To the corner, Neil, he's hitting all his marks, he's hitting all his apexes. Bit of sand in Callum's face as well to try and put him off, try and make him sneeze. Not quite working just yet. There's Trevor in 3rd place. Every time I see that name, I've just got to say Trevor. He's in 3rd. Bidster in 4th. And now Tempio is being caught by Domingo. Domingo's on the back of the Abarth now. The Abarth 500, the little roller skate. Being caught by the even bigger roller skate of Domingo in that Swift. And also we've got Mr. President finally caught up to the back of Keith. Into the left-hander, avoid the Sosh curb on the inside. Don't want to be doing what Bidster did with all the 2 wheels and stuff. But now Domingo gets a run. Up the hill he gets a run. He's alongside him, side by side into the braking zone. And onto the brakes. Oh, the Abarth's good on the brakes though. He's still there and Domingo just gets the position. Good racing there from both of them. They both just gave each other enough room. And also Mr. President has got ahead. Mr. Josh has got ahead of Keith in the Polo. So the Peugeot moves up to 7th place. The bright purple Peugeot with the yellow wheels, and into the last corner we go. So the few changes there then. So Domingo up to 5th and Mr. President up to 7th. Let's see if they can catch up to any other people. There's Bids still in 4th, 35.2 for him, 35.0 for Trevor, his name. And then Callum right on the back of Neil Farmack now. It's not took very long, but last lap Neil was quicker. No, he wasn't. No, sorry, it was his personal best. Sorry, personal best in blue. Callum was still faster, but a bit slower than his previous lap. But he's now right on the back of the Mazda. So both Mazdas together, both diesel Mazdas. Go up the hill as the Mazda is a bit of a dominant car. It won't be used in the next compact cup that we do, but eventually. But it's still a decent car. It's just hard to match with the others. There's a bit of contact there as the Callum then goes off the track, trying to get close to Neil Farmack, and there was he went sand tracking there. Threw some sand up and tried to play and build a sandcastle, but that didn't quite work out for him. So Neil Farmack now gets a bit more breathing room, and Callum's got to do all that work to do again. He's got to be careful because TY Trevor is not doing too bad. He's got a consistent pace as Bidster just goes massively on two wheels in the background, absolutely throwing that thing round like it's a 90s touring car. Absolutely insane stuff from Bidster. But it's risky though. It looks good, but it's very, very risky. Because he hits one of them curbs wrong, and he could end up flipping the car. Well, not well, he wouldn't flip the car in Gran Turismo, but in real life you'd flip the car, or you'd definitely do the suspension. But it's working for Bids to a point, so we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see if he ends up skating into the gravel at any point. Domingo's pulled away now from Tempio, so Domingo putting the laps in now. 1:35.7, fast lap of the race for him. 36.5 for Tempio last time round, and a 36.1 for Keith. Keith's getting faster, 36.1 for him, so he's pulling away from Mr. President, who did a last lap of 1:37.282, so a bit faster for Keith there last time round. Just going to keep it consistent. I say that, and I say consistency, and he's making consistent sand dunes at this rate, and he keeps to the inside. Keeps the outside, sorry, and Mr. President goes through on the inside and takes the position from Keith. So 7th place again for Mr. President. Farmack still in the lead of the race. Callum still trying to close up. 35.0 last time round, 36.2. Obviously for Callum, he had that little mistake because he went off track, so we'll see how he catches up. Let's look a bit further back. Keep an eye on Mr. President and Keith, because these seem to be making most of the action here. Is a bit wide there for Mr. President, just missing his apex a little bit. Keith closes up slightly in the VW. Let's go on board with Keith. There he is in the Polo. Let's go on board. Down the gearbox into second gear and out of the corner and bang through those gears, and it looks like a H-pan, but we are using a sequential shift in these cars. It doesn't put the animation into it, but we're using the sequential gearboxes, the racing customisable ones. Braking down into turn 1, straight down to third gear and second for Keith. He can hold a much tighter line than the Peugeot had, but the Peugeot can just carry the speed around the corner, so pretty evenly matched so far. Let's keep on the onboard cameras. Let's go ahead and have a look at the inside of our 500 of Tempio. Turning into that corner, and again, all the cars look like they're using the H-pan, but they're using a straight cut sequential gearbox. Let's go further ahead. There's Bidster. Bidster's catching up to Trevor here. He was Bidster over the curb. And up the hill, Trevor ahead in the Peugeot. He's at the top of the hill. Let's go to the outside cameras again. And I think we've got a battle for the lead again, because Callum's now closed right back up to the back of Neil Farmack. Neil last time round 1:34.6, 1:34.3 for Callum, only slightly quicker. But Neil must have made a mistake on this lap to close in the gap. Because here we are, he goes to the inside to defend and goes to the outside. To pass goes Callum. Just about giving each other enough racing room. You don't need door mirrors, and as Callum goes round the outside and gets the job done. Brilliant move there from Callum. Made Neil go defensive, used the momentum around the outside, and now he's got to defend for his life. As Neil goes to the outside line into turn 1. Both of them trying to give each other enough racing room, but also trying to race hard. Neil trying to go all the way around the outside. Callum leaves him enough space. Neil round the outside of turn 1, incredible stuff, and now gets the inside for the next corner. Callum now holds on round the outside. Are they talking through the window? These absolutely side by side. Now Callum goes around the outside of him, but now Neil tries to give him room, but there was never enough room there to do two cars side by side. And Callum loses out there. So look further back, TY and Bids, TY 34.6 as well for Bids. So even on the lap times further back, We have, oh, Tempio's made a mistake. Tempio has made a mistake. He's gone off somewhere. He's been caught by them two. Let's have a quick rewind and have a see, shall we? It was into turn 1, and oh, he's gone wide into turn 1, outbraked himself, and there's Mr. President going through, and Keith not too far behind as we go into the next corner. He tries to fight back on the inside, and nope, can't quite do that. The door is closed by the Peugeot in front of him, and then he goes into the next right-hander, and I think he just runs a bit wide, and Keith gets an overrun and just goes through. So that's where we back where we were. So yep, Tempio losing out there. Now he's at the back of the field and got to try and catch up. Meanwhile, back to the Mazdas at the front. Neil Farmack ahead of Callum. The battle resumes. Callum trying to get on. He's definitely got the pace, Callum. He's just got to pass Neil and stay in front of him. But it is easier said than done. And obviously Neil has got plenty of experience in defensive work. And we'll have to see how it goes. Callum again. So the same story again. Neil to the inside. Callum to the outside. Neil this time breaks a bit later and gets the... Oh, goes wide on the exit though. And then Callum tries to straighten out the car and get his foot down. Both of them alongside each other. It's a drag race down to the line and over the line onto the last lap then. Onto the last lap as Callum finally done it at the last minute. Now Neil just pulls ahead. Neil pulls ahead. And we're going around the first corner for the last time. Both cars within proximity of each other. Callum can sniff an opportunity, but Neil's not going to make it easy for him. Callum moving to the inside, going back to the outside just to try and make himself look big in those mirrors of the car in front. Trying to put Neil off his stride, just trying to put some pressure on him. Going to keep that pressure up, but it's going to be hard to crack Neil Farmack. He's a tough cookie to crack. As he goes round the left-hander and starts to pull up the hill, which would be easy work for these diesels, these diesel Mazda Demios. Into the left-hander, perfect line there from Neil Farmack, and Callum just a bit wide there, but he's okay, still within the drafting range. No other battles really on track at the minute, so we're going to focus on this one. Into the chicane, the corkscrew for the last time. Both cars, epic lines there through there. And Neil not leaving any window of opportunity for a mistake. As I say that, he runs wide on the left-hander. And now Callum's right up behind him. He's going to have to go for a last lap run. Can he get the run onto the corner? Neil's going to defend the inside here for all he's worth. Callum's going to go around the outside. Round the outside he goes, tries to turn in. And no, Neil holds on. Epic racing, the side-by-side towards the line now. Side-by-side towards the line. And it's just going to be Neil Farmack who takes the win from Callum in second. Epic race there from the both of them. Neil kept his cool all the way. Trevor TY takes third place on the podium. Bidster in fourth in the Polo. Domingo an excellent fifth in the Suzuki. And it is all rise for Mr. President in sixth place in the Peugeot, and Tempio takes seventh place, and Keith rounds off the 8, but a good effort there from Keith as well. Epic stuff there, and well done again to Neil Farmack and Callum for providing us with that entertainment in that race, and we'll see you guys next time on LPB Racing. Take care everyone.